What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's dive into Rebellion from April the 20th, 2024. TNA needs help. This was not a good show. They made a plethora of bad booking decisions. And TNA really needs to decide what they want to do as a promotion. I can honestly say right now, them bringing back the TNA name has been a failure. This is just Impact all over again. And this show was actual proof of that. TNA continues to rely on nostalgia. Enough is enough. It's time to progress and move forward. So, I did watch the pre-show. The pre-show was pretty good for the first two matches. So, the first match on the pre-show was the Rascals, which was Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed versus Leon Slater and Chris Bay and Ace Austin. ABC. Very good little spot fest match. So Slater, he gets the win via the Swanton 450. That was great. And we were also in the hometown of Chris Bay, so he had to win. So this made sense. It was just really cool, crazy spots. That's all it was. Next, Laredo Kid, he finally won something. He defeated Crazy Steve to become the new digital media champion. He won via a Super Spanish Fly for the 1-2-3. This was great. I'm so happy for Laredo Kid. He finally won something. He's been with TNA for, I want to say, either 6 or 7 years. He's been with TNA for a minute. And it's finally good to see him win something. Hopefully Laredo Kid can do something with this title. Hopefully. I would actually love to see Laredo Kid as X Division champion. I really would. But this is good. This is a really, really good thing for him. And I'm happy for him. So, congrats to Laredo Kid. Crazy Steve, what do you do with him? I have no idea. I really don't give a shit. Maybe make him a producer. Moving on. So, Decay, they lost to Spitfire. Spitfire retained. And also, Lars Fredrickson, he was with them, so that was cool. So they win. Not really all that important. And then Diener, he came out towards the end of the show because Mustafa Ali's guys, they were protesting and stuff. He ends up beating up the protesters. Who gives a fuck? And then this led us into the show. So, DJ Ashba, he plays a rock version of the national anthem, which is really cool and good. So then we get the opening video. So people on the cart are walking through the streets of Las Vegas. Before shifting looks to the people in the arena. And then Nic Nemeth says, fuck the system, which was great. Because Nic Nemeth got fucked by the system. So how apropos. Moving on. First match of the night. Mustafa Ali defeats Jake something. He retains the X Division Championship. This match was solid. The two of them worked well together. So Jake something almost won the title via Into the Void, but Mustafa Ali's goons got involved. Ali had the wherewithal to put his foot on the rope, which was great. That was smart. So Jake something attempts to go for a powerbomb Ali rakes the eyes of Jake, and then he rolls up Jake for the 1, 2, 3. This is great. I'm loving what TNA is doing with Mustafa Ali. They're using him correctly. They said that he's been on a 8-month winning streak. He's not lost, which has been great. Ali's been doing some work for New Japan as well. I think he's done some stuff for GCW as well. And he still works the indies, but he's primarily with TNA. And this is great. I'm loving what they're doing with Mustafa Ali. Really good shit here. I don't know what to do with Jake something going forward. I really don't know. He needs to win the title. I'm guessing what they could do is at Slammiversary, maybe that's when we see Jake something win and defeat Ali then. Because Slammiversary is TNA's version of SummerSlam, basically, and pretty big things also happen on Slammiversary as well, on that show. So we'll see what happens, but Jake something needs to really do something, if we're being honest. Moving on. So Rich Swann defeated Joe Hendry. He wins via the Frog Splash. So in the middle of the match, Sean Merriman, he comes out, and him and Top Dollar, AJ Francis, they're about to whoop each other. They're about to whoop each other's asses. So they almost come to blows. It was all a ruse, and then he decked Joe Hendry, and this allowed for Rich Swann to win. So this is fine, even though I'm not a fan of Rich Swann. This heel turn seems pretty cool. I like it. I really do. I like it. Again, I'm not a fan of Rich Swann, but this does give him a new character and everything else. It gives him a new lease on life. He's not done anything in TNA, anything that was memorable, except for when he was TNA champion back in the pandemic days of TNA. Until he lost to Kenny Omega in 2021. But that was 3 years ago. So that doesn't mean anything. But this is fine. So First Class, to me, is fine. I like it. So I'm digging the character work that both guys are doing. I really am. Where AJ Francis has his boys with him all the time. DJs and all that and stuff. So it's kind of cool. He kind of reminds me of Swerve a little bit, a little mini Swerve to an extent. So I'm digging it. Because him and Swerve were boys anyway. They were boys in WWE and they were boys in real life. So this actually does make sense. So I'm digging this. What I'm not digging is this next match. Fuck this match. Fuck Eric Young and fuck Frankie Kazarian. This pissed me off. So Frankie Kazarian, he defeated Eric Young via the Flux compactor through a table for the 1, 2, 3. Who gives a shit? This was a waste of time. This was a boring ass feud. This was lame. And this is the problem that I have with TNA. Why are they continuing to push guys that don't bring them anything? Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian are two veterans that are way past their prime, and they really need to be backstage producers. I didn't give a single fuck about this match. Moving on. So, Nic Nemeth, he's backstage. He's getting ready. He's talking about how he wants to become the world champion and everything else. He says tonight is his night. So that's fine, even though it doesn't happen and it doesn't come true. So his wish didn't come true. So moving on from that, Steve Maclin, he comes out next. He basically signed a new contract. He's got everything that he wants so far. And the main thing that he wants is a match for the night. So Santino Marella, the director of Authority, he comes out and he says that we have a new star who just signed back, and it was revealed to be my boy Mike Santana. This was great. So Mike Santana defeats Steve Macklin via the spin the block, which is a discus lariat, which is great. I love this. This was actually a good, legit return that I really actually liked. The other two, not so much, but we'll talk about that when we get there. And I'm hoping that they actually have plans for Santana. I really do. I could definitely see Santana being either X Division champion or the TNA World Heavyweight champion. I could see him in either of those two roles for sure. But having Santana back is great. I love me some Mike Santana. Great stuff. Wishing nothing but the best. Moving on. So, we see Spitfire retaining the Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the pre-show. So then, post-match from that, Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich came down to stare down. So then it brings the System out. The System said they're ready to retain their titles. And then Moose, he said he's going to retain his. And then he brings in his former NFL homeboy, John Abraham. He said that he's got his back and said that he's proud of Moose. He said that Moose is the System. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is some lame-ass bullshit. So, the System, which is Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, they defeated Speedball Mountain, which is Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. They won via the roster cut into the Boston Knee Party combo for the 1, 2, 3. Didn't give a single fuck about this match either. Moving on. Now, this pissed me off right here. Josh Alexander defeated Hammerstone. Yes, Hammerstone, who they just brought in 3 months ago at Hard to Kill. He lost his first feud to Josh Alexander. This sucks. So, I was thinking that Hammerstone doing the Nightmare Pendulum through some thumbtacks was going to be the end of Josh Alexander, but nope. Josh Alexander got up at a count of 8. And then, towards the end of the match, Josh Alexander hits a half-and-half suplex on the ramp, followed up by a C4 spike for the 1, 2. For the win. So, Hammerstone couldn't get up from that. This sucks. I feel bad for Hammerstone. I really, really do feel bad for Hammerstone. What's Josh Alexander's upside? What's his upside? Nothing. What can he do? Nothing. This sucks. This is not a good look. It's like, I get what happened to Josh Alexander. He needed to get his comeuppance, but not like this. Like, to me, this just doesn't make sense. Again, Josh Alexander is not the guy anymore. He's not the guy. He's not. This was a mistake that TNA made. This is not a really good booking decision. Again, I get where they're coming from, but this wasn't good. Moving on. So, this led us to the fourth part of Jonathan Gresham's story. So, he's still in therapy. And, out of nowhere, he starts spitting out black goo. And then, he puts on the octopus mask. So I do like this. This is kind of cool. So maybe he makes his debut on TNA Impact. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm digging this. Moving on. Jordynne Grace versus Step Delander for the Knockouts World Championship. Jordynne Grace wins. There was a bunch of bells and whistles. So PCO came out. He got involved to take out the Good Hands. Khan, he came out to take out PCO. The lights went out again because Khan was about to snap the neck of Jordynne Grace. Then Sami Callihan came out, and I'm just like, what the fuck? This sucks. And so basically, Jordynne Grace wins via the Juggernaut Driver. We didn't need all these damn bells and whistles. And Sami Callihan being back fucking sucks. This makes zero sense. Sami does this every few years. He's not changed. No one cares about Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan actually needs to be either a backstage producer or something. But why is Sami Callihan still with TNA? I thought he was with MLW. This makes zero sense. Again, TNA takes 2 steps forward, 15 steps back. That's always been my issue with TNA. They never want to progress. Even when they were at Impact, they were still doing the same shit. So Jordynne Grace retains. Main event, Nic Nemeth versus Moose for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Moose retains. This was not a good main event at all. They don't work well together. So Moose wins via the spear. This sucks. I feel bad for Nic Nemeth. This should have been his night. We should have gotten a new champion. I don't understand why TNA didn't give Nick the championship. It just doesn't make any sense. Nic Nemeth is a guy that you build your promotion around. It's common sense. Hell, he was on the poster for Rebellion. All over it. Up and down the damn thing. This sucks. I feel bad for Nic Nemeth. I really do. I really do. So post-match, the lights go out again. There's a weird video that starts to play. It keeps saying lights out and lights go out. And then the lights went out again. And then Matt Hardy appeared. And he took out Moose with the twist of fate. And he did his little crazy pose. He did his delete pose. The crowd was into it. This pissed me off. And I said, fuck this show. Again, this is the problem with TNA. Why are you constantly going back into the past? This isn't 2016 anymore, all right? It's 2024. It's time to move forward. It makes zero sense. This really pissed me off. The last 2 matches of this show pissed me the fuck off. I hated the bells and whistles that went down for Jordynne Grace and Step Delander. It didn't need all that nonsense in there. And then the main event really pissed me off because Nic Nemeth should have gotten his moment. His brother Ryan was there and his pops was there. So I don't understand why he didn't get his moment. And Nic Nemeth should really be your world champion. Moose sucks. This sucks. You mean to tell me that Nic Nemeth got screwed over? He got screwed? And now it's going to basically be Matt Hardy and Moose? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. TNA, man, they're not making any good decisions at the moment. They're not. I have no idea what's up with TNA, but TNA definitely needs a whole new crop of talent. And maybe with their releases that happen, maybe they can do something. So we should see Jinder Mahal and Veer and Sangha probably turning up at Slammiversary, which is on July the 20th. And their contracts would have expired then. We'll probably also see Xia Li as well. She'll probably show up as well. But this just was not a good show. This was not. And also during the Knockouts match, I don't know what happened to Ash by Elegance. I'm surprised she didn't get involved in the match. I don't know. This is TNA made a bunch of bad booking decisions, and this is more than likely going to backfire. On a night that really should have been crowned with Nic Nemeth being the new TNA World Champion, it didn't happen. Only for lame-ass moves to retain. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.